In the iron autumn of 1904, as empires clawed at the edges of the world, a fleet of steel leviathans slipped from the Baltic's frozen maw. The 2nd Pacific Squadron, under Admiral Rozhestvensky, a man whose eyes held the chill of Siberian winters, sailed not toward victory, but into the jaws of unseen dread. The Russo-Japanese War had twisted their minds. Whispers slithered through the ranks like venom. Japanese ghosts in torpedo hulls, lurking in every shadow, ready to strike from the depths. The sea, that ancient deceiver, offered no mercy, only fog that choked the stars and winds that mimicked the hiss of incoming death. Paranoia festered like rot in the holds. Sailors, their faces gaunt from sleepless vigils, scanned horizons where no horizon lay. Rumors bloomed in the dim lantern's glow. Japanese submarines coiled in Norwegian fjords, mines drifting like spectral jellyfish, assassins disguised as neutral fishermen. Off Denmark's jagged coast, they had already unleashed hell on innocent shadows, guns blazing at phantasms. Rozhestvensky paced his bridge, a silhouette against the void, barking orders that dissolved into the gale. The fleet pressed on, a serpent of steel through neutral waters, blind to the trap the sea had woven, a shallow bank of sand and secrets, waiting to birth monstrosity. Far from the fray of distant battles, on the Dogger Bank, a submerged plateau where the sea feigned gentleness, the fishermen of Hull cast their fates. The Gamecock Fleet, 30 souls in wooden husks, danced with the waves under a moon veiled in haze. Lanterns bobbed like fireflies trapped in brine, illuminating decks heaped with silver-scaled bounty. Skipper George Smith of the Crane gripped his wheel, his calloused hands steady against the swell, while mates hauled nets heavy with the ocean's cold gifts. They were ghosts of another world, providers in a realm of plenty, unaware that the night harbored hunters, drawn by lights mistaken for lures of death. As the clock clawed toward 1 in the morning, the Russian vanguard, the Aurora, her sisters in tow, sliced the fog like a blade through flesh. A flicker, the trawler's lanterns swaying in the current, twin points of false fire. To the spotters, fevered and frantic, they were the eyes of Japanese demons, torpedo boats slinking from the dark. Enemy! The alarm tore through the fleet, a howl swallowed by the wind. Flares erupted, painting the sky in hellish crimson, searchlights clawing the waves. Hearts hammered in unison, fingers trembled on triggers. The sea held its breath, as if savoring the madness about to unfold. The barrage began at 1:03, a cataclysm of iron and fury. Shells screamed from the Aurora's guns, 6-inch harbingers of oblivion, smashing into the Crane's frail frame. Wood exploded in fiery shards, the galley funnel shattered like brittle bone. Flames clawed skyward, devouring the night as the trawler buckled, her hull vomiting black smoke into the void. George Smith slumped at his post, life ebbing in crimson rivulets. William Leggett writhed beside him, a broken puppet in the puppet master's cruel jest. 6 more marked for the Reaper, flesh rent, bones splintered, while the sea drank their cries, indifferent and insatiable. Panic birthed Pandemonium. Trawlers fled like wounded beasts, engines choking on brine, crews vanishing into the black maw below decks. But the Russians hungered on, broadsides ripping the veil of night. In the maelstrom, betrayal struck. The Aurora quaked under friendly shells from the Orel, her own kin turning predator. For 25 eternal minutes, the North Sea feasted. Geysers of foam, the acrid bite of cordite, the wet rip of metal into wood. Ceasefires howled unanswered. The guns possessed, spat death into the fog, devouring light and life alike. As the false dawn clawed through the haze, the slaughter laid bare. The Crane was gone, swallowed whole, her survivors adrift on splinters, the cold leaching their warmth like a lover's betrayal. Limping phantoms, the Minnow, Gamecock, Magpie, crawled toward Hull, hulls weeping oil and blood. Docks wept too. Crowds surged in impotent rage, flags drooped like mourners' veils. 2 claimed by the deep, 6 scarred for eternity. Walter Welpton's would surrender in May's cruel jest. Britain bristled, warships prowled, empires teetered on the abyss. The Russians slunk on, purging Vigo's shores of scapegoats, their admiral a ghost in his own command. Paris summoned judgment. Admirals from fractured nations dissected the delirium, fog as accomplice, fear as the true assassin. Russia bent the knee, 65,000 pounds, a pauper's ransom for spilled salt blood. Yet absolution eluded them. The fleet met its end at Tsushima's jaws, iron tombs for the paranoid. Monuments rise in Hull's soil, etched with warnings, by the action of the Russian Baltic Fleet. But the sea remembers, no mistake, but a mirror to man's fragility. Tonight, when fog cloaks the Dogger Bank, listen. The waves murmur of lanterns that never dim, of guns that hunger still. Mistake? Or the seas whisper, calling forth the monsters within. In the quiet ports of Hull, old salts avoid the date, October's curse. For in the deep, the phantoms wait, bobbing, ever bobbing, for the next fleet to mistake the light for doom.